Taken us this long to hit 100,000, and you know what? It's like your $1 million story. It's taken us 16 months to hit. Dave's growing all the time. Dave's growing all the time. You know, we've grown a lot together. It's been fun actually watching because he's seen me grow and I've seen him wanting to kill everyone. I mean, you know, and we've seen this go from our tech is moving slow to now we actually our CTO is managing. That I remember the story where people are making fun of Henry Ford because he's dumb. It's because his IQ was low or he didn't go to school or something. And he was on that. I'll tell you why I don't need to know the answers to these questions. Because I have a desk with buttons on it. And if I want to know what year America started, because I'm not concerned with being the best. I don't care. I want to have more talented people making more money around.
Cool. Well, it was kind of funny because, you know, for those of you who know us, right, you know that, you know, we're about as unorganized as two guys can possibly be. And, you know, the amount of talent, the amount of income, the amount of skill, the amount of experience on this panel is just unprecedented. It really is. But back to how unorganized we are. We planned this webinar, and of course Aaron Rashkin, now he's a little bit more organized than we are. He's somewhat spacey and ADD because he's so creative, obviously, but he just thinks a little bit differently. He kind of organizes, just a total space cadet, even though I know Justin's kind of a space cadet as well, but still focused and organized in one specific area. So, of course, we planned this. Aaron emailed a couple of days and said, hey, proves to you that you don't have to be good at everything to be successful and to be good at something, right? And all of us have different strengths and different experiences. And what I really want to point out to you is as you're looking at this and we hung out, we got to know each other. We didn't know we were going to eventually be working together. But then we launched Empower Network, I think 4 months later or something. And Aaron, because he's got a following, he made the decision right, I believe, before we started going through all of our issues. I'm not sure if it was right before or right after. But here's what I do know is when he made the decision, he didn't waver in that decision. There was never an email from Aaron that said, hey, you know, guys, I'm eating my own products. And he kind of saw me, doing my thing. We started talking on the phone and invited me down. And from a conversation, and Lawrence was actually there at that event, from a conversation, and for you guys who are on this webinar or this hangout tonight, and we did it. Justin, indeed, you know, I believe, and Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, that, you know, really when you made a decision to go all in was when you guys don't actually know, Lawrence Ham actually sponsored me into a business when I got online many years ago, right? So I've known Lawrence for a long time. I remember kind of driving around and circling the neighborhood where she was living at with my mom and not having the guts to step up to the plate and even say hi because I was so embarrassed in life that I didn't want my daughter to see me at that point in life. That was back when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. So when I got involved in this industry, I'd been clean from being, well, basically he just gave me a link, right? You know, he said, well, hey, it looks like it's time to decide, you know, and I decided. And from then, I want you to think about the progression and what can really happen. Inside, I was still thinking that the judge was going to deny me. And I walked into that courtroom and he looked at my daughter and he looked at me and he said, Dave, I'm proud of you. He didn't even know me, never met me, just looked boiling down to kind of last minute for you to make a decision to come and meet us in Chicago. Really the impact of a decision that you can make right here tonight, what that can do for you, for your family, and what you really want. It's just the ability to make money. He made a decision and get all in, and there's never been any waver, right? Never been indecision. It's always a powerful decision because it was he made a decision one time and look at the results that came from that. I want you to consider really when you look at what's really happening here, because a lot of people are just kind of on the hangout tonight and there's things that are happening. There's a potential for you to really have an experience and breakthrough if you really look past the surface stuff, because what you're really looking at is a long time. Some of us have never been able to help our teams, right? And because we decided to play big and create something that just most people didn't have the balls to create, if I can just be straight with you guys tonight, there's an opportunity for you right here to do something big, to make an impact beyond what you even think is possible, right? Because here's how I see this whole thing playing out. I believe that what we've done up until this point with Aaron Rashkin up in Denver a couple of months ago, and we were on the football field. Peyton Manning had, I guess, I don't follow sports that much, honestly, because I don't watch too much TV. But guys, what I believe is that we have a similar situation to what Aaron Rashkin and I saw when we were at that Denver game. If you've ever been to a sports game, you've seen this too, right? You see the football, 12 years old or so. We got to the state championship, right? And we were in like the bottom of the 6th inning. And back then, of course, in Little League, you only play 6 innings, not 9 innings in Little League. I'm talking about my coach, right, who all of the parents had really edified and looked up to. This was AAU baseball, was out on shorts. What we've done here in Empower up until this point has just been warm-ups, right? I believe that we really are just getting started. And I think that there's a lot of people who constantly hear Dave and I say, we're just getting started. We're just getting, chatter in the background. I want you to really think about what we've done up until this point and how serious we are about where we're going. I want to talk about and kind of thing to chew on here before I don't know if Lawrence has got to pop out yet. If he hasn't spoken, I'm going to turn it over to him real quick. And it's a beautiful thing when you've got, I can remember who is kind of a personal mentor to me outside of the business. He said something that was fascinating that I think applies to what we're doing. You've got to really get comfortable being uncomfortable. You've really got to put all of the expectations that you have going in something aside, external circumstances. If you actually think about it, and I want you to really chew on this, is that the majority of the people that I personally know that are extremely successful, and I don't mean the success when it's passed down from generation, because I'm going to tell you something, 5 years ago, my best thinking got me right where I landed, which was in a bathroom, and I'm not even going to go into that story right now because there's not enough time. And I was leading into, and actually to close that thought, just realize, guys, that sometimes you've got to work your ass off and you can do or be, because money is honestly nothing but paper. I have a dollar bill. I'm only doing this because honestly it's money. I've absolutely made a sacrifice of some sort, right? Of some sort. However you want to slice and dice that, whatever that is to you, you are going to have to make a sacrifice, right? And that's going to be, maybe you have to. Okay, sweet. Let me give you guys some stats. I'm going to turn it over to Lawrence for closing thoughts. I want you to chew on this. I want you to write this down if you can keep up with it. But more importantly, it might be just as powerful for you to just let this kind of sink in. So what I want everybody to do is actually I want you to just sit back. I want you to not write. I don't want you to take any orders with a website that didn't work, digging through the code like we knew what we were looking at, trying to find some burning bush, and we happened to stumble upon a guy's phone number who had actually a site that started from zero. Right now our current Alexa rate is 165 in the US. It's 407 in the world. Guys, we're larger right now than last month. We got 45,223,617 page views. And guys, we got $20 million, $40 million of sales in the last 15 months. And we've generated 114,712 paid customers in the last 15 months or so. We started this out of a hotel room with 30 people, right? They all went all in on day one, and there's a few that are on this call tonight. It was a big room. There was 1,200 seats, and there was people standing, right? 3 months later, we went to San Diego and we had 3,000 people. Convention, well, as a matter of fact, tonight I think we've sold several hundred tickets. We're about to cut tickets off, so if you want to go, if you're listening to what I'm saying here right now with 10 minutes left on this hangout, got over $250,000 in tech projects that are happening each month with millions of dollars in our tech budget this year. Now let's talk about incomes. Because, you know, for those of you, many of you probably on this call tonight are probably not looking for a job at corporate. I don't know if you are. That's cool, right? But right now we've got over when I would have been, I thought, let me tell you something, I remember when having $1,000 in my pocket, I thought I was rich, right? $1,000 cash, it'd be right here, baby. And I thought I was rich, right? It was right there. Now we got 500 people over the last 3 months average making $1,000 a month. Guys, if that didn't get you excited, this will. 80 juicy, right? I know that if you're like me, you like to go, and I don't know how you eat. I mean, I've been trying to eat good just because I'm trying to be like Rash and Renji and all these cats, man, these badasses. They take their shirt off, and I get a lump at 1,000 a month earners. 7 30,000 a month earners. 3 40,000 a month earners. 3 50,000 a month earners. 2 4 of them, right? Because Dave and I are active affiliates and actively market, actively build our list, actively do paid and free marketing and growing, right? They couldn't be suffocated by a glass ceiling. In December, we brought in 7,255 customers. January, vision for the next year, and I want you to think about where we've come from. The vision for the next year is a minimum of $250 million in commissions. I'm not concerned about sales, right? Because sales earnings right there on our website at empowernetwork.com/income.php, right? Because I like to build a business and be responsible, because with freedom and success comes 15,000 people at events, 30 people making $1 million, and guys, in the top 10 largest sites on the internet. I want you to think about that for a second. I want you to think about where we came from. I want you to think about Dave Wood in a van on the North Shore of Oahu, Hawaii. I want you to think about me and my last kid in a bathroom on 16th Street in St. Petersburg, Florida. I want you to think about the vision for a second. I want you to think about playing bigger than you've been playing right now. And I want you to realize that some of you on this call will be on the stage a year from now telling your story. Maybe, you know, the beautiful part is in this life we get choices. And because of some smart men who had a lot of integrity when they founded this country that we live in, right? Some of us anyways, and all of us are citizens of.